The first thing Daniel Walsh remembered was the ceiling. White tiles. Fluorescent light. A slow, rhythmic beeping somewhere to his left. Then the pain hit. It came all at once, his ribs, his left leg, his head, a full body ache that told him something serious had happened before his mind could piece together what. He tried to move. Couldn't. He tried to speak. His throat was dry as sand. A car accident. It came back in fragments. Rain. A red light. Headlights coming from the wrong direction. Then nothing. He had been in surgery for 4 hours. He would be in the hospital for 3 weeks. He didn't know anyone was coming to see him. Daniel was not a man who had made many friends. He would have told you he was simply practical. Focused. He had built a successful construction company from the ground up. Long hours, tough decisions, no room for sentiment. He had missed birthdays, skipped funerals, forgotten anniversaries of people who mattered. Not out of cruelty. Out of habit. Out of the slow, unconscious belief that there would always be more time later. There wasn't always more time later. He knew that now, lying in a hospital bed at 44, staring at a ceiling that had nothing interesting to say. His business partner had sent flowers. His assistant had sent a card. No one had come in person. He told himself that was fine. He was lying. On the third day, a nurse came in for the morning shift. She was calm and efficient, checked his chart, adjusted his noted his vitals without any of the nervous hovering that some of the younger staff did. She looked to be in her mid-30s, with dark hair pulled back and steady hands. There was something familiar about her that Daniel couldn't place. "Good morning," she said. "How's the pain today? Better than yesterday?" "A little," he said. His voice was still rough. She nodded, made a note. Then she checked the 4-line and asked the standard questions: sleep, appetite, movement in his leg. Professional. Thorough. Exactly what you'd want from someone responsible for your recovery. She was almost at the door when Daniel frowned. "Do I know you?" he asked. "You look familiar." She paused. Turned around. And then she smiled, a small, quiet smile that carried something old in it. "I wasn't sure if you'd remember," she said. "It was a long time ago." Her name was Sarah Okafor. 12 years ago, she had not been a nurse. She had been a 23-year-old woman standing in the rain outside a hardware store, trying to change a flat tire on a car that had already had a bad week, much like she had. She had no spare. She had no money for a tow truck. Her phone was at 4% battery. She was on her way to a night class she couldn't afford to miss, for a nursing program she had saved 3 years to enroll in. Daniel had pulled over. He hadn't planned to. He was running late to a meeting, a big one, the kind that could change the trajectory of his company. He saw a woman in the rain, a flat tire, and a look on her face that was 2 minutes away from giving up entirely. He pulled over. He changed the tire himself, ruined his jacket in the process, got mud on his dress shoes, and arrived at his meeting 40 minutes late. He never told the woman where he was going or what he was missing. He just changed the tire, made sure she was okay, and drove away. She had called after him, asking his name. He'd waved a hand. "Don't worry about it." He had forgotten about it by the time he reached the meeting. Sarah Okafor never forgot. She finished telling him. Daniel was quiet for a long moment. He genuinely had not remembered. That Tuesday afternoon had been replaced by 100 other Tuesdays, deals, deadlines, the daily noise of a busy life. But she had remembered every detail. The rain. His jacket. The way he hadn't hesitated. The way he'd driven off without asking for a thank you. "I made it to class," she said. "I didn't miss the exam. I finished the program." She looked around the room briefly, the hospital room, her hospital. "I've been a nurse for 9 years. Daniel looked at her for a long time. "I didn't do anything," he finally said. "It was just a tire." Sarah shook her head. "That night I had already decided I was going to drop out. I couldn't afford another setback. I was sitting in that car telling myself it was a sign. She paused. Then you stopped. And I thought, if a stranger can stop in the rain for someone he doesn't know, I can keep going for myself. The room was very quiet except for the heart monitor. Daniel felt something move in his chest that had nothing to do with his injuries. Sarah was his nurse for the full 3 weeks. She was professional, always professional. But sometimes, between the vitals and the medication checks, they talked. He asked about her work. She asked about his. He told her things he hadn't told anyone, about the loneliness of building something big and looking up one day to realize you'd built it completely alone. She listened the way good nurses do. Fully. Without hurrying him toward a conclusion. On his last day, when the discharge papers were signed and the wheelchair was waiting, Sarah came to say goodbye. She handed him a small card. On it she had written one line. You stopped. That's all it took. Daniel held the card and looked at her. I'm going to be different, he said. It came out quieter than he meant it to. More honest. Sarah smiled, the same quiet smile from that first morning. You already are, she said. You've been different since the day you pulled over.